Hello, welcome to my brand new channel. I am going to talk about one of my very favorite things, books. Yay! So I am an avid reader. I read lots of books, usually at least read a book a week. Usually I'm reading multiple books at the same time because, don't mind my dog, because there are so many books out there, so little time, so hey, let's just read them all at the same time. So I wanted to put up this channel because I read a lot of reviews on Amazon and on Goodreads. I watch a lot of book reviews on YouTube as well, but I don't see the type of content. I don't see a lot of the same kind of style of books that I really enjoy represented well on YouTube. I read lots of people who have similar, my dog, have similar taste in books as I do on Amazon, but it's just not well represented on YouTube. So I thought I would fill that void and hopefully introduce you to some books that maybe have flown under the radar, because I have found some really fantastic ones that are not well known, or that maybe were hyped up and didn't quite meet the hype of the mainstream people, but I thought were fantastic. So, a little bit about books that I love to read. I love character-driven books. World building is not super important to me. Of course, I like interesting, unique worlds, but I don't have to. I don't have to have everything spelled out for me. Some people really like all of the details and they like to be able to picture every little brick on the wall. Not important for me. My brain, my imagination does a really good job of filling in the blanks. So world building is not super important to me. The main thing a book has to have for me to read the whole thing is good characters. That's super important to me. So I like fast-paced books. I am not huge on a lot of super detail. A couple of my favorite authors who definitely are different than what I normally like to read, Brandon Sanderson and Michael J. Sullivan, both fantastic authors who I've read most of their books, but very heavy on details, very slow-moving books. Their books are a marathon. Those books are so hard for me to read because they take such a mental commitment, because there's so much information coming in, and that it just takes me forever to read them, because not only are the books, that thick, but there's just so much. You're being given so much that I have to take it in chunks. I can't just read it super fast. Now, a book that's really fast paced, I can chew it up and spit it out. I may have to sit and absorb some of that too, but it's just not quite the mental taxation of a book that just is so much. I really love Kaladin in Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight series. Fantastic character, but he's just so much, and he was just emotionally exhausting for me, so it took me forever to read those books. Just a lot. Those are more of the books that I will pick up as an Audible book, just to make it a little less taxing on my poor brain. So you may have noticed my super cool background. I am a ESL teacher. I teach for VIPKID. I wake up very early in the morning and I teach. If you're interested, VIPKID is a very great program, a very great company. I've been working for them for almost 6 months now. It's a fantastic side gig. I get paid very well. I have a great time. It's just great. If you are interested in it, I will put my referral link down below. and my email address, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions about it. I would be happy to answer any questions about it. And maybe this channel could also sort of serve as a VIPKID / book review channel, who knows. So anyway, I wanted to talk about a series that I picked up off of Kindle Unlimited that surprised me. It's been fantastic. So I won't lie to you, I picked this book up because the cover is very pretty. I think it was the second book that caught my eye. Very interesting covers, that they're sort of abstract. They don't really have anything to do with the story, but they're very eye-catching, very pretty. Tells you how important covers are. Authors, very important. If a cover looks stupid, I probably am not going to pick it up. Just saying. So anyway, this book is very interesting. It's very different from a lot of the books I've read. The societies in this book are different. One of the main characters is sort of like the typical Northman barbarian, very typical European type social caste, you know, where the men have the power and the women are sort of the lower tier. But the rest of the world is completely opposite. The women have all of the power. The women are bigger, the women are stronger, and the women are basically in control. So people want to have daughters in this society rather than sons. The sons are sort of looked down upon as sort of the lesser sex, which is different than anything I've ever read before. I have read stories where women were that's not true. I have read stories where women have been higher tier than the men, but the reasoning behind why women are higher up than men in this series is very unique. And I won't ruin that for you, because when I read that, I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And it is true. It's a little bit true. So very cool, very interesting story. I will say the writing style of this book is different. It took me a while to get into it. The author uses italics in a different way than I've ever seen before. She uses them like a character is having a sort of inner monologue and they're lying to themselves a little bit, and the italics is the truth. And the first half of the first book, I did not like it. I thought it was distracting. I thought it broke up the story, you know, and I just didn't like it. I kind of skipped over it. Now that I've gotten into the story and I have gotten used to it and I know the characters and I kind of know what's going on in their head a little bit, it makes more sense. It flows into the story better. I don't even notice it anymore. So just be aware of that. Another book that I read that it took me a little while to get into the writing style was the Vagrant series by Peter Newman. This book was so different than what I had read before, and it took me a while to get into it. It did, and that was a big turnoff for a lot of people for that book, and I hope that I can give a review on that book series, because it is fantastic. If you have not picked up The Vagrant, I highly suggest it. It's a great series if you like stories like I do. The main character speaks, I think, maybe 4 or 5 words over 3 books. So if you are really big into dialogue, you're probably not going to enjoy it very much. But if you're like me and you're kind of an introverted, silent observer type person, he was just fantastic. I never felt like I didn't know what was going on why he was making the decisions that he was, even though you don't hear what's going on in his head. It's completely body language and actions that you get to know this character, and he was fantastic. Well, very well done. I loved it, and not many authors could pull off having a character that does not speak, and you do not get to be in his head. So well done, Mr. Newman. I am looking forward to reading more of your books. I know you have a book out, Mr. Newman, but I cannot find it. It's not on Amazon. So anyway, these books by Kate Eason, like I said, I'm about 80% done with the second book. Once I finish it, I am going to come in and do a summary about it. So if you don't want me to spoil it for you, silly dog, if you don't want me to spoil it for you, please pick up the books. They're fantastic. Kate Eason, you're doing a fantastic job. Very well done. Your books are great. That's all I have for now. Hopefully we'll be done with the book maybe sometime next week. Hopefully we'll be done with the books early next week and have a synopsis out for you next week or next weekend. So I also have a blog. I will put the link to it below. I am just brand new at this. I don't have a lot of content on my blog page yet, but I'm working on it, so please bear with me, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon. Bye bye!